Hey guys, Josh again. I posted a video earlier today about my new project build, but I talked about one of my bucket list cars that I may be able to get my hands on, and I just want to go over my bucket list. This is the short list that I could come up with off the top of my head, but these are probably the most important if they're off the top of my head. Some of these cars I've owned, most of them I haven't yet, but I'm working on it. So I'm going to go over some of these cars and why I put them on my bucket list. So first one on top of the list, and this will always be on the top of my list, is a 70 Chevelle. I've actually owned two 70 Chevelles in my life. And if given the opportunity, I would buy another one today. I love the 70 Chevelle. It's my absolute favorite. I like the 69s, I like the 68s, but the 70 is my absolute favorite. It was a one-year body, and that's just my favorite all-time car. I wanted one of those cars since I was 10 years old, and I owned one a couple of years ago, and I actually owned two a couple of years ago, and sold them and moved on. So I don't know why I've fixated on a Chevelle, but I have. Maybe it was Wooderson from Dazed and Confused. Maybe that was why. I don't think so, considering that I wanted one long before that movie came out. But anyway, the next would be a 69 Camaro. I wouldn't care if it was, I actually would rather it be a non-RS car. I like the Z28 front end or the regular SS front end versus the RS. The RS looked great, but I just like the exposed headlights. I just like those better for some reason. If you watch my channel, you know I have a 68 right now. And I love my 68, but it's just not a 69. They're just a little subtle differences that make that difference, and I like it better. Now, don't get me wrong, I love my 68, but if I had the option, I would have a 69. Next would be probably a 71 Kudo. Those cars are pretty rare. They're really expensive. But that look is just, they nailed it on the 71. The 70s are nice, the 72s are nice, but that 71, man, they just had it right. And I'm not a big Mopar guy. I've got a couple Mopars on this list. A couple of Fords on this list. That may shock some of y'all since y'all know I'm a big GM guy. But I'm more of a GM on muscle car. Later cars, I don't really have a brand loyalty. They all make pieces of junk nowadays, and it's just what you like to look at. That's my opinion on the big three. No brand preference. I'm going to buy what I like to look at. Whoever has the best looking truck or best looking car for that time period, that's what I'm going to buy if I'm buying something new. We're going to weigh all options. We're not going to stick with a brand. But anyway, getting off topic. Moving on. The 70 GTO. Man, this is like the Chevelle. I love the 68s. I love the 69s. But the 70, man, Pontiac nailed it on the 70 GTO. And I love those cars. I've wanted one of those ever since I saw Dazed and Confused and that orange Judge, man. I've loved them ever since. And I've never had the opportunity to own one as of yet, but hopefully soon I will. Next will be a 67 Mustang Fastback. Have to be a Fastback, not a coupe. The coupes, I don't care for. I'm not a big Mustang guy anyway, but 67 through 69 I'd be happy. But the 67, I guess maybe it's from watching the Gone in 60 Seconds remake as a kid and falling in love with Eleanor. Maybe that's what it was. I don't know, but I like those cars. After that would probably be a 32 Deuce Coupe. I mean, who don't like a Deuce Coupe? It'd have to be chopped and channeled and hot rodded though. Those are just cool. I like those cars, man. There's something about them. A 68 Charger. I mean, I grew up watching the Dukes of Hazzard, and if I own one of those cars, it would have to be a General Lee. That's the only way I would want one is if it was a General Lee. And I'm not a big movie car guy, but the General and a Bandit Trans Am, man, that would be it right there. And that would be another one on my list, is a Bandit Trans Am. It'd have to be a 77. It'd have to be black. It would have to be the Bandit. So that would be another one that I could add to the list. So I guess it's going to turn into a top 11. After that would probably be a 63 Corvette. I would love a split window, but attaining one of those is going to be really difficult. They didn't build a whole lot to begin with, and a lot of those cars, the guys that bought them new, they cut the split window out because they were hard to see out of. And, you know, back then they didn't have backup cameras and all that kind of stuff, sensors and none of that. So they cut the split out, put a regular window in it. Those, when you do find a split window, they're going to be very expensive. Very expensive. So attaining one of those may be pretty difficult. But hey, you know, everybody can dream, right? The last couple are a little newer. One is a Grand National, specifically the GNX. For that year, that was the fastest production car built. I mean, that beat the Corvette in pretty much every aspect. And that's why they didn't last very long, because GM's not going to let another production car from their company beat the Corvette. And I like them. I mean, they're cool. They're kind of grandma car body, but you don't want to mess with it. That's when kind of the sleepers come out, man. I mean, they were cool. After that, probably the last one on this short list would be a 90 to 91 GMC Cyclone. If you don't know what those are, they're a S10 base or Sonoma, all-wheel drive, 4.3 V6 with a turbo from the factory. They were cool. The fastest production truck from 1990 to 1991 all the way to 2005. The only truck as of yet that has beat it as a production truck is the SRT8 regular cab 6-speed. As far as I know, that is the only truck that's ever beat that truck at a quarter mile as a production truck. I know there's a lot of hot rods out there that would just blow the doors off of it, but straight out of the factory, that was a bad boy. And they didn't build a whole lot of those either. They're still around some, but they're really, really high for what they are. Like I said, that's the short list of mine. Comment. Show me your bucket list, man. I'd love to compare and kind of see what everybody's into out there. If you like this video, like and subscribe. And y'all have a good day.